guys! So I got this really great book today, but before we get our book out, what do we need to do? Put on our listening hats. I already got mine on because it's so hard to get on and I don't want to sit here for 10 minutes trying to do it. So let's get on our listening hats. And you know what that means? It's time to be quiet because we don't want to miss any of this story. I'm going to put on my looking glasses so that I can see the words on the book. This book is called The Octopus. It's by Denise Cosette. And this is Grandma Spanielson's chickenpox story number 1. This book was written for Mike Cobble and the girls, Juanita, Azalea, and Brianna. Dr. Storkmeyer closed his black bag. Chickenpox, he said. This pup has the chickenpox. Uh-oh. Grandpa shook his head. He has more spots than a Dalmatian. It itches too, said Barney. A warm bath will help, said Grandma. And here's some lotion, added the doctor. How long before he gets better? Grandpa asked. The fever will go away soon, said the doctor, picking up his bag. Give him a warm, soapy bath and plenty of rest. The rash should go away in a few weeks. Have you ever had the chicken pox? They're the worst. They're itchy and scratchy and yucky, and they make you feel terrible. You don't want to itch them. A few weeks, cried Grandpa. My favorite grandpa has to itch for weeks. That's how long it takes, said the doctor. I can cure him faster than that, said Grandpa. Dr. Storkmeyer laughed. I know you've for 70 years. You couldn't cure a ham. I'll see you tomorrow. Barney sat up. You know how to cure the chicken pox, Grandpa? Easy, said Grandpa. And I can do it for free. How? Asked Barney. I'll drive them out with my famous anti-itch chicken pox stories. Go ahead, Grandpa. I'm burning up, said Barney. Grandpa sat on the edge of the bed. Once upon a time. Don't start now, said Grandma. The boy needs a warm bath. Grandma always knows best, don't she? Do you have a grandma? I had a grandma. I have lots of them, but they all have passed away. Still, I miss them very much, so I like to read stories about Grandma and Grandpa's. Grandpa went into the bathroom, he filled the bathtub, and Barney climbed in. Does that take some of the itch away, Grandpa asked? No, Grandma asked. Barney nodded. A little. Maybe Grandpa should try one of his anti-itch stories. Grandma rinsed the top of Barney's head with a sponge. I'll be back, she said. Grandpa winked at Barney. Grandma raised her right eyebrow. No scary stories, she added. Grandma closed the door. Remember our scary A to Z book that we read? You think Barney could handle that? Okay, Grandpa, whispered. Barney whispered, start driving out the itches. Grandpa rubbed his hands. Okay, he said, let's start the scary story. The Octopus. Once upon a time in the olden days, when Grandma was much younger, we lived by the sea. I live by the sea. Remember, I live in Florida. One night, there was a terrible storm. The sea turned wild and waves pounded the shore. It rained so hard, the roof rattled. The wind howled and the shutters banged. That must have been so scary. There I was, sitting in the bathtub, minding my own business, when it happened. The bathwater turned dark. Bubbles oozed and the bathtub shook. The pipes rattled. Yow! What do you think it was? A hurricane burst out of the drain. The wind whistled. The thunderclouds roared. Fish rained from the ceiling. It almost run through by a falling swordfish. The storm got worse. I tried to get out, but something grabbed my tail. Yikes. It had a head like a giant sponge with eyes in it. A beak snapped at me. Hey! Got you, hairball. Uh-oh. What is that? Is that the octopus, do you think? Ow! Whack! Ow! Octopus shouted and whacked it with a swordfish. He's a brave grandpa. The octopus grabbed another swordfish, and we had a sword fight. You dirty duck. Ow, ow. Ha, that's what you think, Jellohead. I just took a bath. Thunk. Ow, ha. The octopus threw the swordfish at me, and I grabbed the toilet plunger and swooshed him. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. He tried to drag me down the drain. Squoosh, squoosh, squoosh. Suddenly the water washed down the hole and the storm ended. He got him down there, didn't he? The octopus was gone. I looked out the window and the sea was calm. That night, we had swordfish for dinner. Grandpa's full of stories, isn't he? Wow, said Barney. That was a good anti-itch story. I feel better already. Yes, said Grandpa. My famous anti-itch stories are... Grandpa stopped. He gasped. What? Said Barney. Don't move, Grandpa said. Why? Asked Barney. Grandpa pointed at the sponge floating in the bathwater. Look! What? Said Barney. The sponge! That's not a sponge, said Grandpa. What is it? Asked Barney. Octopus! Grandpa shouted. Octopus! I'll save you, Grandpa yelled. He jumped in the bathtub. The plug popped out and the water drained away. Grandpa held up the sponge. Its legs are gone, said Barney. The octopus must have gone down the drain, Grandpa said. Now it's just a plain puss. Grandma opened the door. Good heavens, she cried. What happened? Octopus, said Grandpa. Octopus, said Barney. Grandma stared at Grandpa. She raised her right eyebrow. Most people, she said, take their shoes off when they take a bath. Grandpa stepped out of the tub. He was excited, wasn't he? His shoes squished as he walked over to the closet. He took out the mop. Octopus, he muttered. Grandma wrapped a towel around Barney. Put your pajamas on, she said, and I'll come tuck you in. Are you feeling any better? A little, said Barney. Grandpa's stories helped. It was about an octopus. Did I ever tell you about how when I saved Mr. Piggerman's life, Grandpa asked? No, said Barney. Well, when I was fire chief, Grandma raised her right eyebrow. Later, she said. Grandpa winked at Barney. Grandpa hummed as he mopped. Because he got water all over the floor, didn't he? See, even you use your imagination, you can think of great things, right? Hope you enjoyed that story, because I sure did. Till next time.